Hello everyone, I'm the Holy Hermit and I welcome you to episode 3 of our podcast. A podcast that's not so weekly at all anymore because I randomly record it on weird days. It's a very casual Diablo podcast where I invite my awesome friends from Diablo universe and we talk about everything related to Diablo. In the beginning, the first part of the podcast is again about Diablo, what we like about the game, what we love about it, and also what we hate about it. Not hate is a strong word, I really love Diablo. And the second half we have usual casual talks about things not so Diablo-y, but the goal of the podcast is to get the community together. And speaking of community, by the way, I am streaming right now on Twitch and I have my awesome audience with me, awesome friends from my clan and other people who watch this humble hermit here. So it's going to be 2 guests tonight. I'm going to introduce them right now, but the biggest guest here is you guys watching the podcast. So thank you for this, and if you like it, I'm going to keep making more of these, so thank you for your support. So, to introduce our guests, we have 2 awesome guys here with me. First one is an epic monk player. He's been playing monk ever since the beginning, and you kind of know him as well, guys. If you've been watching my YouTube videos, he's the guy who makes a stupid hermit sound very good. As in the voice, the songs, the music you see in the video, it's all made by my friend called Bob, or Zariskov. He's also a pro monk player. If you just look at that number over there, that's 481. And that should tell you something about what he does. He's playing monk right now, and we're going to be talking to him all about monk. So Bob, I've embarrassed you too much already. Why don't you say hello,
Good evening, everybody.
There we go. A man of few words, but whatever Bob says, you sit and listen, guys, because this man is a wealth of knowledge. And on the same note, we have another friend of mine, Mr. Benedict. The same thing I said about my friend Bob being an awesome monk, Benedict is pretty similar, and they actually have very cool interests in common. Ben too is a nice musician, he makes very good music, and my friend is also a very good demon hunter. Since Reaper of Souls, he's been playing a lot of Demon Hunter. So today, I think we're going to cover 3 to 4 classes. We're going to have quite a few topics, as you can see on the screen already. But Mr. Ben here, I'm going to be talking to him all things about Demon Hunter. And to give a special shout out, we also have an awesome friend of mine, Mr. Law. He's a fellow streamer. He's also sitting in the chat, who also is a Demon Hunter. So you can't see him right now, but I can. He'll be typing things to me, and I'm going to be communicating everything left and right here and there. But the point is, sit back and enjoy, and I hope you like the episode 3 of my podcast. A very casual one. So here we go. Guys, I have some topics. And I'm going to start off by looking at how everyone is feeling about the game. The biggest question, right? The problem in Reaper of Souls, before Reaper of Souls we had in Vanilla, how the game was, you know, everyone had problems. Guys like me, Bob and Ben, we always played the game. But to talk about in general sense, Reaper of Souls launched a week and a half ago. How is everyone feeling about it? What do you think the game is? How do you think the game is, you know, playing so far? So Bob, tell me one good thing you enjoy about Reaper of Souls right now. Something you were missing in the past, but since you got your hands on Reaper of Souls, what's your favorite thing in Reaper of Souls right now?
I would say it's not only one. Actually, I like the game a lot. I'm playing now every day since the release.
Okay.
I am enjoying very much all these new modes, has gifts and the bounties. I like the way they work. I even like the current drop system. We're going to talk about it later though.
Definitely,
and
yes.
I like very much all this enchanting system. It seems very fair to me. Sometimes you get lucky, sometimes not. So all these new features, I enjoy them really, really. Yeah, I like them very much.
Cool. As I said, guys, Bob really is a hardcore Diablo player. So for him, everything is good. And and it's going to be like a cop-out, really, because I'm going to say the same thing. But before I say that, Ben, come on, give us a straight answer, sir. What's your one favorite thing about Reaper of Souls, my friend? What are you enjoying in the game right now?
Just being able to look at different maps instead of, say, just Kota or, you know, like an individual landscape. Just the dynamic now that you can play the game in. Yeah, that's the major strength for me.
Okay, so basically what you're saying, in a way, which you said already, is it's not just farming in one act or one area, or it's not just an XP grind anymore, right? You are getting XP, but the focus of the game right now is not XP at all. You see that number ticking all the time, Paragon 391, 392, all that good stuff, but you don't do that for the Paragon levels anymore. Some people do, and that's perfect. But mainly what you're doing in the game right now is like what we're doing. We're doing bounties, we're doing rifts, we're running around, we're killing monsters. Something we talked about in our previous podcast when the game wasn't out by then, and we kept talking about this, at how the game is going to be good. And I'm very sure most of you people who are watching the podcast in the Twitch or, you know, on YouTube later on, I'm very certain all of you guys are playing the game at different levels. You're not just doing quota runs, as Ben said, and that is a pretty good aspect. I definitely agree with you on that one, Ben, right? It's the versatility of the game where you can go and things you can do, so I definitely like that, guys. So, one thing, then the question again, because we have to talk about the good, bad and ugly. We're really hardcore fans of Diablo. We love Diablo, everything about Diablo, and if you're watching this, which you are, guys, then you pretty much feel the same. So, one good thing about Bounties, we've said, hey, it gives you the diversity, you go around, you do these events, it gives you XP, it gives you gold. What do you think is lacking in Bounties, guys, right now? And again, don't get me wrong, guys, as I said, we all love the game so much, but everything in life can be improved, right? You can make little changes to things here and there. So what would you recommend, Bob? Any idea that you think that you can improve with Bounties? Yeah. What do you think about the legendary drop rates? Because we are farming on normal right now, guys. Just to let you know, a monk who can pretty much do Torment 3 easily right now, my monk, the build you've already seen on the channel. Bob is doing the exact same thing that I am, with better gear. And we're still actually doing this on normal. So Bob, what do you think about Bounties? It's amazing, we all love it, but what do you think can be improved?
Yeah, I think the rewarding system should be a bit different when you play in lower difficulties than when you play in higher difficulties. As they say right now, yes, you can get some set items on normal difficulty, but still you can get so many items and very good items on normal. So on one hand, it's very good because you can gear up very quickly. On the other hand, you might feel very unlucky while you're not getting the items you want, while others can get it very quickly. And playing normal, which is easy. I mean, everybody can do normal.
Definitely. So that's definitely a plus side, right? You can play normal difficulty, which means when you start your game, even if you have a level 60 character, you have 200k DPS, 2 million toughness, you can go on normal and crush things, and you can get loot from there. But what Bob's, delving into is the aspect that for a guy like, we've been playing the game for a while, serious players, maybe Bounties is not there where it should be. There's a slight bit of disparity there. The amount of hours you put into Bounties, maybe you're not getting enough reward there. And we're going to touch that later on, by the way. That's a good point. By the way, our awesome friend, my dear friend, Mr. Law, is saying, for him, the best feature of Reaper of Souls, I'm looking at the chat right now, he enjoys Rift very much. And I'm with you on that one, Mr. Law, sir. To me, the favorite thing in Reaper of Souls right now is Rift, getting the loot there. So definitely. So Ben, what are your thoughts on Bounties? Do you feel the same?
I mean, I'd just like to see more of a reward for, say, clearing all the acts. And I know that was in, and they've kind of removed that. But when I found out that that was no longer in, I was completely turned off by them, really. Apart from
that's a very good point, right? And it's something of an easy fix as well. I mean, first of all, we're all gamers, guys. We can come up with suggestions, but in terms of the guy who designs the game, which is our awesome, lovely company Blizzard, they can't do everything we say. But I think that's a pretty good and a fair thing to ask. There is no reward right now in the game if you actually complete the entire 5 bounties. If I look at the map, if we finish all these bounties in Act 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, nothing really happens. You're like, okay, I'm done with the map. What's the point in me doing this? And that's why you see people are still kind of slightly pushed in a certain way that you have to keep doing one act over and over again if you want a certain cash. So maybe like the old reward system, right? Is that what we're talking about, Ben? Where you can actually get a bigger cash bonus. If you finish all 5, maybe you get a bigger cash that has a legendary that could be dropped. The same bounty bag legendary that could be dropped from all acts, you can get it from that one. So I'm with you, man. That's and
that bag could be also have a crafting map chance. So it's another place that you could get a crafting map that you don't have to then farm just one mob.
Yeah, and also you could get from bounties very special material that you need in order to play a new type of rifts. Maybe it's like legendary rifts or combined mini kits together. But
let's go into
that's
that.
That's a big topic because in order to go to rifts, you must first complete the bounties. So you actually must pay all the mods, which is good. Which is, I think, something Blizzard wants.
Definitely. So we should move on to it. And Mr. Opsy is actually making a point about gold. We can get into that later on, my friend. We can discuss crafting a little bit as well. We can't cover all topics, but that's a very good point you're making about gold farming. It's not really big of a concern right now. Just to give you a little answer quickly, I'm answering a friend in our chat, guys, by the way. He's raised a question about farming gold, and I think, gold farming is not the main thing right now. People are normally looking for legendaries because when you're re-rolling an item, you basically are spending most of your resources, most of your effort goes into getting that Forgotten Soul and getting those special crafting materials. Gold, I have yet to meet a person in Reaper of Souls who's actually, you know, because I've got so many people in the clan. If I show you my clan, I have people from Paragon like Bob, like over 500, and people who are Paragon like 100. Oh, look at that, some people very low Paragons. And everyone I've spoken to has not complained to me about gold, so that's a topic we can get into later on, but good point nonetheless. But Bob did touch on the other aspect, which is Rift. So what do we think about Rifts, guys? And before I go into that, there is a little hint that Blizzard is giving us about something called tiered Rifts, and we should talk about that, by the way. So Bob, the same question then, since you we had about bounties. Do you think the Rifts are where they should be? Are they good? Or first of all, are they good? Are you enjoying Rifts? Is this something that's fun? Because Mr. Law and I, we are absolutely big fans of it. So what do you think about that?
I'm also a big fan. I like Rifts. I like the way those maps spawn different every time, and this dynamics as Ben said previously. And you know, all these monsters, you never know what you're gonna find. You might find a map with full elite packs. You might find kind of empty map. You never know what you're gonna find. Maybe many goblins together. I think it has a good rewarding system. The higher difficulty you go, the better it is, as I can see. So yeah, I like it very much.
And any one thing that you could change about it then? Or do you think it's good?
I think it's pretty good.
It's pretty good. So look at that, guys. This answer is coming from a guy who spends a lot of time into the game, and he is happy with Rifts. And I honestly, personally am as well. And again, we're not talking about the changes. Blizzard is saying that we're actually going to introduce tiered Rifts. Because if they do that, it really is Christmas come early for all of us gamers. So Ben, what do you think as well, my friend? As a Demon Hunter?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think it's a great plateau that they've created to expand. You know, if they do give us tiered Rifts, great. If they give us something like Path of Exile, where there'll be specific mobs, and then you can gear or do a build that's going to take that harder Rift down, you know, I think it's a good system that could come. No.
Definitely. And Mr. Law is adding on to you and making a very good point there, that there should be some Rift-specific legendaries. Sir, by the way, we have an awesome topic to discuss. Guys, wait for this one. But a good point Mr. Law is making right now, that there should be, the same way you get something from bounty bags, like you can only get the Ring of Royal Grandeur from doing bounty, and you know, other items like Gloves of Worship, you can only get them by doing these. Otherwise, you know, if you just run around the normal game, you'll never find them. I think the same thing should apply to Rift. Maybe the Rift Guardians should be able to drop certain kind of, you know, legendaries. And again, this could be expanded on later on as you get tiered Rift, better things. But all in all, I think Rifts are pretty good where they are. And as Mr. Law is saying, if you add a little bit thing to it, then I think it's going to be an awesome thing. So good point there, guys. By the way, I'm going to look at our next topic, which will be, wait for it, there we go. It's going to be the new thing. Now, the material hunting, I don't want to dwell too long on this because that's a topic for another day. We do have set legendaries in the game. Now, we're basically going to the next topic, that is crafting. Now, crafting was pretty much non-existent in Diablo 3 Vanilla. Now, you could craft an amulet, a level 60 amulet, and all the Archon plans basically gave you something. And they were good. They were very good for what they were. And they were amazing compared to what we had in the beginning, right? Which was nothing. But right now, crafting is a whole different being on its own. So, to me, crafting is a place. It's got a perfect place in the game that it fills the void between you finding the rare items and then you finding the next OP legendary. If you're struggling to push your character to the next level, chances are your solution basically lies in you crafting these items using the crafting legendaries and set legendaries. So. And with regards to that, I've actually published a video, guys, which you'll probably have seen by now, which is about how you craft materials and all. So I'm not going to talk too much about it. But again, the question goes back to Bob, and the question is the way you get crafting materials in the game. And again, Blizzard has also made an amazing point. See, Blizzard is awesome. They know this before we talk about it. But let's discuss the topic and give our 2 cents anyways, if they mean anything. They are going to buff the drop rates of these items. The crafting materials, which are the main ingredient for you to craft these good set items, they're increasing the drop chance. But apart from that, how do you feel about, what do you think about the place? Do you think it's are they in a good place right now, the crafting, the set and the normal legendaries that you can craft, or do you think they are lackluster, Bob?
I think they're keeping they want us not to craft a lot. It's actually pretty difficult to craft a lot right now. I think they want to do something in the future. Maybe they change a few things, because it's a bit difficult, and they ask a lot of things, also high tier games.
Yep, you require gems, you require crafting materials. Basically, it's a pricey affair. It's an expensive affair. Only people with lots of time and other things on their hands can actually craft. But in terms of the reward you get after crafting, do you think that's perfect? Do you like the set bonuses of these items?
About the set plans, yes. I think some of them, they have really good bonuses. Now, about the normal legendary weapons and armors, most of them don't have something special. So that's why I'm thinking that they might do a few changes later about this.
A few little changes, yeah. There we go. That's a crafting material right there we're just talking about. These things like these are the things you need to craft these legendary items. And as Bob said, the set items, in my humble opinion as well, I think they're pretty good. They're very good because the bonuses can range from something like you deal more damage to elites, you take less damage from elites, you get more XP, you have more magic find, you have attack speed. Very good affixes that, you know, if you don't have something like an Enos set complete on you, it's a pretty good side set to aim for. So in terms of craftable set legendaries, I think they're perfect. But legendaries on their own, I think they're not there. But that being said, you have to understand the point that those legendaries are actually in the game for a reason, that you use them until you get your next beautiful Thunder Fury or a Fulminator. So that's the point. But I'm definitely agreeing on you on that one. If that is the case, then the crafting requirements, the materials, how often they drop, their drop chance should be slightly above, which I think is going to happen very soon in the next patch. So that's what you have to say. What about you, Ben? Any special sets you have in mind that you think you want to craft as a Demon Hunter? Anything you're looking forward to?
I'm looking forward to the Shadows Coil set.
Okay, please do enlighten us, because I have no idea.
Well,
is that a craftable set?
No, sorry, it's a set. It's a class-specific set.
It's a normal set. Okay. So what about a set item that you can craft? Anything in particular you're looking for? Maybe
canes, which I do have, but I need to farm the map for it.
Okay, you have the material as well. So I think canes is pretty amazing, right? So, I mean, would you not agree that they definitely have a perfect place in the game right now? I do like them, that, you know, at the end game, of course, I'm going to be wearing full of my Enos set, and I'm going to have the Monkey King set bonus, and, you know, I'll be able to complete that. But by the time it takes, you know, I get there to that point and get all these cool things, I think getting set items are pretty good. And in certain cases, when you're doing certain specific things like legendary hunts, then set items like Cane sets are an absolute asset to you, because they give you magic find, they even give you bonus XP, so it's really an amazing system in the game right now that I think,
and I mean, if you compare,
it's almost perfect. Please
if you compare the crafting system to vanilla, you know, how much more it can be rewarding.
Oh yeah.
So it you know,
it's a difference of night and day, right? Mr. Law, sir, my friend Mr. Law is saying, is there a Monkey King set? So the Sun Wukong set basically is an old tale of the Monkey King. It's a tradition that comes from ancient India and China and Japan, believe it or not. And again, Monk being the martial artist that hails from that land, it's actually the Monkey King set, because when you read the description, Mr. Law, sir, it's actually it is Monkey King set, but they've given a different name to it. So yes, sir, there is a Monkey King set, which I'm dying to get, by the way. So wish me luck, guys. So that was our talk about crafting materials, guys, and crafting legendaries and set legendaries. Pretty good stuff. It could be better. And let me look at the next topic, which I really want to cover, and that is clans and communities. The big question, which is an amazing feature in the game. It's very simple, but some people find it difficult. And the people I have in my podcast right now, I have the privilege to have these guys as my clan officers. My Mr. Bob here, our monk friend, is also a clan officer, and so is Mr. Benedict in our humble clan called Holy Hermit Heroes. So guys, could anyone, Ben, could you please explain to me what a clan is? For people who don't know, for a person who's looking to join a clan, why do you think one should join a clan, by the way?
Well, you get to see a lot more items simply by just observing what people drop. And by just doing that alone, you can kind of gauge what you're getting. And also, you know, the obvious side is it's community driven, and you have more people to play with. And we're lucky enough to have, you know, friendly people that want to help people progress.
Definitely, that's the most important thing, right? A clan that's, you know, is not about, hey, look at my Paragon levels or something like that. That's personally my choice. Or look at, you know, how good we are. But a clan, to the way that it was introduced, and what I love about it, and I'm sure it's the same with every clan, not just ours, but every clan. But ours, I can talk about because it's the clan we're in. People tend to be very friendly. The best thing about Diablo, people have always complained about Diablo being, you know, always online thing, and I've always supported Blizzard. I'm like, no, please keep it always online. Don't give us the feature of offline, because if you give an offline feature, people are going to start modding and start doing all nasty things, and you're going to pretty much end up having a botted system. The other thing is, it's a game that's meant to be played with people, so the more people you have, the funner the game is. Now 4 people in a game is fun, but what's much more fun is you having a community of 130, 150 people, and you share your items, you share your knowledge, and you basically have a nice banter with your friends. It's a perfect thing to do, and I think clans are just what Diablo needed in terms of the social aspect. And for someone who's not sold on the fact that Diablo should always be online, I think this thing is a pretty good example. So there we go. So guys, the next thing about, this is a personal question I have to answer, and I'll answer it here because this is the best place and I want to tell other people. Our clan is called Holy Hermit Heroes, and I can explain to you very quickly what the difference between a clan and a community is. And there isn't much of a difference. The only difference is, at least for personally me as a hermit, I think the only difference is the clan size, or the size of the number of people, the size of the people that can be in this whole system. In a community you can have as many people as you want, but in a clan the number is only 130, I think, or 150, yeah. Something like that. 150. So the number is very small. So with that in mind, if anyone wants to join a clan, the goal of that person should always be to be slightly more active. If you're a person who likes to play the game on a weekend, Blizzard has designed a thing called community system for you, which means every time you log into it, you have pretty much the same system. You can actually enter a chat, you can talk to people there, and it's a slightly wider community. But if you're very serious about the game, you've been playing the game for a while, and in person, in our humble clan that is, if you want to help people around, then definitely clan is the place for you. So just to answer this once and for all, guys, everyone is welcome to be part of my clan, but the problem is I can't have everyone. It's something that I really feel bad about. But if you want to be in the clan, the only thing you need is, you don't need high paragon, you don't need high damage, you don't need any of those things. The only thing we ask for you in the clan is to be helpful, to be engaging, to help other people to get better, and they'll help you in return. If you're a community person, if you like to talk to people, then our clan's doors are always open for you. And same thing goes for community. If you're a person who can't play the game that often, you sign in every 3 or 4 once, probably 3 or 4 days in a week for an hour or so a day, then community is also the place, and they're both pretty much equally the same. Clan is not the end of all things, and same thing also goes for community. So by all means, guys, make up your decision, and if you want to be part of our little community, you're always welcome to be there. So that's what I have to say about clan. So let's move on to the next topic now. I'm gonna look at this. So I think this is where we're going to go into some serious talk about classes. We had a generic topic right now, but now we're going to cover some specific classes. And I'm going to start off with Bob right now, because Bob and we like to play monk. And now the topic of the whole our podcast right now, or the topic of the moment is, how do you feel about monk right now in Reaper of Souls, Bob? And this is kind of a big question in a way that, how do you feel the progression system for monk is? Are monks gearing up quickly enough? Are they actually too slow? Is their damage bad? Is their damage good? Do you see an end game for monks? Do you see an end game goal for monks? Or are they kind of a lost cause, or are they amazing? So many questions, Bob. What do you think, man? Would you give us your opinion about monks? First of all, what do you think about monk in Reaper of Souls? Is it better, or is it kind of gone bad?
Okay. The first thing that I noticed about the monk is because of the change of the items, that you get totally different items. Monk lost his attack speed by a lot, so the gameplay it must be different. It should be different. I mean, from vanilla, so it is different. So right now we have found one build to play that doesn't require this attack speed, and it feels very good because it's very fast. And yeah, I think monk should be about to be fast, either faster movement speed or fast attack speed. Now we have the movement speed, and we can kill also pretty fast along the way. That's one build though. Okay, so I haven't tried any other build right now because I'm looking for items, and items are going to make the difference in what build we're going to make. So I think we have a long way to see, what is going to happen.
Okay, but the current question: are you happy with monks, the way the monk is being played?
Right now,
is this something you're enjoying?
Yeah, right now I'm very happy. I'm very happy about the monk as it is.
All right. And what about progression, Bob? Not in terms of the loot find and all, in terms of general, like, is monk feeling stronger as you get more items, or it's more like, I'm just, left clicking, slightly higher. So because to me, and I always say that guys, the game is not about how much damage you can show on your sheet. I mean, of course that's a big part of it. The more damage you do, the more loot you get. That's understandable. But at the core of all it is, it's actually a video game, right? Like every other game, this is also a video game, and it has to be fun. The experience has to be fun. It shouldn't just be a left click fest all the time and, you know, you getting bored, probably, you know, talking to another mate on the phone, which is not a wrong thing, but basically the point is when you play the game, it should be involving, it should be intriguing. So in terms of that, does Monk feel proactive? Does he feel good enough, or is he losing something right now, Bob? What would you say about that?
No, I'm just very happy right now. I'm only playing around 6 days though. I'm playing a lot, but I'm very happy up to this point. So I want to see more of it though. Yeah.
You want to see more of it. By the way, guys, if you're wondering what build we're running, this build is basically what we call the 1000-sided strike, lovingly. And for us, the experience of the game has changed so dramatically that it is amazing. So in terms of farming, and I didn't want to say, because you all know me guys, I play as Monk as well, but I wanted to get Bob's opinion because his is equally, if not more important than mine, because he's put more hours into the character. So you heard it from our friend guys, he enjoys Monk very much, and that's one class we've talked about. So the next class we're going to talk about is our Demon Hunter. So Mr. Ben, come on, give us the verdict. What do you think about Vengeance? That's the first question I have for you.
It's amazing. Absolutely amazing.
You have to speak up a little bit.
No, it's brilliant, man. It's a really nice skill.
You enjoy it. So, what's your favorite rune so far that you're running?
Just the hatred generation one, but then I am focused on just generating hatred to feed cluster arrow.
So yeah, you are a cluster arrow demon hunter, right? So that would mean you're a fire damage demon hunter, huh? So talk to me about this. So there's one build that's very viable, and you can actually see a pattern here, guys. Not just with monks, not just with demon hunters, but so many classes. We're going to get to Barbarian later on because a friend of mine has joined me. I'll introduce him in a bit because this man requires a special introduction. That's how awesome he is. But for the moment, as I was saying, that every class has a lot of fire damage on it, right? There are so many fire damage builds you can make. And demon hunter is no different. But the question to you, Ben, is do demon hunters have a future in terms of other elemental damage? Can you make a lightning damage demon hunter? Do you see a possibility, or a physical damage? Because multi-shot is a physical damage skill. Pretty good.
I think there's plenty of room for expansion with lightning damage. Yeah, there's some really good skills. Some stun. You know, fire is obviously the most obvious, and it's there right away. But I think hidden underneath that, there is definitely some other elemental builds for demon hunter.
Yeah. Okay. So that's so you kind of see the future. I mean, that's what I'm saying. In a way,
it just depends what happens with strafe and whether that becomes kind of like the end game for demon hunter.
All right. But in terms of itemization, the next part of the question, then. By the way, let me add something to it because Mr. Badtoss in the chat is making a very good point that demon hunters are great. Cluster Arrow is the only build right now because it requires nothing special in terms of the gear. Very good points you're making. So again, we talked about progression, how Monk is proceeding, Monk's going well. Same thing with Demon Hunter. When you start the game, even when you're absolutely new to Diablo, you have no idea, you can pretty much have a build that's very simple for you, a fire damage, Cluster Arrow, Demon Hunter, that works for you. And that is an amazing thing. If we, leave it to time, our friend like Mr. Lore and Mr. Benedict here, they're going to come up with some awesome builds. And luckily, I will too. And we're going to post those builds, but in the meantime, it shouldn't be like the Demon Hunter back in vanilla. That never used to work at all. That, Demon Hunter was good, and guys like Mr. Lore could do amazing things, but a guy like me could only find one build for a Demon Hunter, compared to something like a Monk build I used to make on my channel. I still make them, about 20 odd or so. So you see the difference there. But that thing is not going to happen anymore. So a pretty good point about that, Ben. And in terms of set items, Ben, what do you think is a good set item for Demon Hunter? What are you searching for in person?
Well, I kind of really want Shadow's Coil just for that survivability on higher torment. You automatically cast Smokescreen when you fall below 25% life.
Okay, so
it's just free. It's free
Smokescreen,
basically. So.
Pretty much. So good times. Let me see. So I think we have the third person in the call right now. I have added him, guys. You know him as one of my best friends ever, Mr. Ray's here. He's a fellow friend of mine. He's also an officer in our clan. And he is a pro Barbarian. He's been playing Barbarian since patch 1.0.1. Everything and anything I need to know about Barbs, I go to Ray's. So Ray's, are you there with us?
Yeah, man. How's it going, guys?
Hello, guys.
Yeah.
guys are saying hello to you, Ray. I'm basically saying hello to you, but welcome to our little podcast, Ray. So, question for you straight away, man. Since you joined in late, we're gonna cover a lot of ground right now with you. Same thing goes for you, Barbarians, man. Whirlwind is gone. You can't dance around anymore. And for a pro barb like you, it never was a problem, even back in the days. But what do you think about community? Because now you're representing the entire barb community. What does the barb community now feel when that skill is gone? Can you still do cool things or not really?
No, we can still do cool things. The issue is the fact that most barbarians can't seem to look beyond Whirlwind, even to this day. It's a really effective skill. Don't get me wrong, but I think you just need to let it go now. But barbarians are no longer the ballerinas they were. Barbarians are now the originals that they were. You know, ignore pain. We had leap. We had ground stomp. And I think it's sort of
so basically very earthly skill, very so-called manly skill. If I'm being too bold, right? Like in your face, I'm gonna punch you to death, and you're gonna take it because I'm a barbarian,
exactly.
right? Those kind of skills.
It's like the monk is a martial artist, the barb is a brute. He is exactly what he is. He's a barbarian. So if you get into a fist fight with him, you need to know that he's gonna take 100 more hits than you are, just to deliver one to you, and it's gonna be a big one. And that's what the barb is about now. So that's what I'm loving about it. It's enjoyable still to play, because he's he's a barb again. It's pretty nice. It's nice to have a barb again.
Good to know. Good to know. Just to let you know, guys, you need to mute your race. Mute anything in the background if you can, because I think there's a little bit of an echo. Sorry about that, guys. But that is good. Mr. Lowe actually is adding something to the build for Demon Hunter earlier. He's actually coming up with some awesome ideas. Mr. Lowe, sir, I would love to see that. You're going for a 4-part Marauders set. That's another thing. Nice. And pulled under the Skeleton Kings. I haven't tested them myself. I actually have those shoulders. But the good thing is, everyone is a theory crafter right now. You know, people are coming up with some good items. They're finding good items and they're coming up with some amazing builds. So, good time. So, Raze, what is a set item you are trying to build now? What's the one true goal for you?
Everyone knows. Everyone knows. Barbarian is the kind of class that once you get your initial set, you can transfer from Torment 1 to Torment 6 in a second. Everyone wants the Earthquake set.
Okay.
And once you get the Earthquake set, it's pretty much GG. You've got a skill build that will carry you to Torment 6, and then which you can obviously switch out and try out for. You know, it's nice to be able to know that you can do. So that's what I'm looking for, the Earthquake set. I have 1 out of the 4. Please, Lord, if you're up there, just give me one more piece.
Yeah, so Raze has been, we've been farming a lot, guys, and we are just, I can see Raze's anxiety, and I'm doing the same thing for my Enos belt, by the way. If I get it, it's going to be awesome. So yeah, for Barbs, he's after the Earthquake set bonus. That's going to be pretty amazing, huh? So yeah, guys, that is the verdict from our Barbarian. Anything you want to improve about Barbed, Raze? Anything you think that could be slightly made better about the character, whether this in terms of the gear you find for him, items, or maybe the skills? Do you think certain skills are still kind of not there yet, or do you think it's actually going in the right direction and maybe later on, you know, we can figure things out? What's your verdict on that?
I have to be honest and tell you that my opinion isn't the majority, because I'm actually enjoying the way Barb is now. I'm enjoying the struggle, and majority of the guys, you know, I mean, once you do Infinite Wrath of the Berserker, you can't really ever go back to anything normal. So a lot of guys just want that face roll again, and I don't. I'm loving the Barb as it is, and I hope it stays as it is. But but for majority of guys, yeah, they want, you know, Furious Charge to do 2000% damage, or they want, you know, like just a damage buff overall for everything, or at least the other classes to be nerfed so they don't feel like, you know, yeah. But as far as I'm concerned, there is one skill that needs to be buffed, and that's Ignore Pain. The reason why is because it's better than the Monk Serenity by far, but because it allows, one of the runes allows you to gain 4,000 plus a life per fury spent, so you can heal up in a second, and it lasts a minimum of 5 seconds. So it's better than
it's longer, it heals you, it's much
and it also has a Thorns effect where it does 50% damage. What it needs now is a sort of a damage increase. I'm not talking the class like Battle Rage, that's going to increase your whatever. I'm saying something simple like an attack speed increase, or a greater thorns effect, because it's currently at 50%. So
Alright, okay,
if we
there
can
go.
increase that, then I think that's the only thing that the game needs really, is a change in ignore plane.
Yeah, adding on to you, the same thing Mr. Laurie talking about, that yeah, Barb looks like to be a bit more gear dependent right now, right? I mean, the skills are not really carrying into, and again, I haven't had the privilege to play with Barb a lot, but I have seen awesome players like Ray's mainly, who's been playing Barb all the time, and we run together, so I see the amazingness of Barb, and I also see a few things that are lacking there. And Mr. Laura's right, since the gear is so good in Diablo 3 right now, Reaper of Souls, the loot you find is amazing, it's helping Barb to carry, but in terms of skills, yeah, there might be a few numbers here and there that can be tweaked. And again, this is not a big thing, this is something you can easily tweak along the line, you know. It's not like, hey, the animation's not working, or the character is absolutely poor. It's something like, hey, the skill is not doing enough damage, the procs are not good enough, maybe the procs are too much, fix that. Which I'm sure Blizzard, even before we start talking about this, they have data for this and they actually try to sort it out. So, good point there. And since we did talk about this gear ride, let's get to the really juicy topic that I really want to talk. Now, this is our main topic, guys, and let me sum it up actually before I get to the next topic. Today we just talked about how we're feeling about Diablo. We're almost 1 week into the game. We are pretty much hardcore players. We've been playing Diablo for a while, and chances are if you're watching the video on YouTube or you're watching us right now on Twitch, you too are a hardcore player. You know, you've been playing the game for a while. And for people like you and me, all of us guys here, we are loving the game. You know, everything about it is pretty good. Compared this to vanilla, this game is completely different, and it's different in a good way. We're enjoying every aspect of it. A few things here and there can be slightly tweaked, but nothing major at all. I'm talking something like a few skills here and there. Maybe, you know, you need to buff this, slightly nerf that, all that stuff. But in general, the main, you know, the meat and potatoes of the game, which is the, you know, how the characters are playing, the items are dropping, they are pretty good, right? So the game is good, and we all are loving it in week 1. We can't wait to play the game more, and I personally can't wait to get all the set bonuses for all the classes, guys, because I want to make so many videos for you. And now, speaking of sets, this is where things get interesting, guys. Now, put your thinking caps on, even if you're watching it whenever, later on or right now. Now, this is theory crafting time, and not theory crafting for builds, this is theory crafting for set items. We came up with a weird idea. Now, we have a beautiful weapon in the game called Shard of Hate, right? A great weapon. It looks kind of dodgy. I personally don't like the looks, but hey, the thing is amazing. It procced well. It's one of the end game items to go for. Since Mr. Law said earlier you want Barbs are kind of, you know, gear dependent. Talking of gear, there is one item that everyone wants to get, and that's Shard of Hate. And where did it come from? It came from the community. So let me give you the superpower. Hypothetically, I have no power to give you superpower, but if I were to give you the superpower, the question is, for example, Blizzard makes a post tomorrow that, guys, we would like you to come up. The ladders are coming very soon, and if we haven't talked about ladders, I'll probably be for the next podcast. But for example, the next patch when it comes out, they hypothetically say to us, we are going to add new set legendaries into the game. The ones we have right now are not good enough. How about Mr. So-and-so, you guys, how about you guys create a build, a set for us? Now, whatever character you love, whatever character you hate, or whatever, it doesn't matter. Your job is to create one complete set for any class. Which class would that be, and what would the set be? Now, I have some ideas, and my awesome guests also here have an idea, or rough ideas. We're going to pitch in our ideas. I hope you like them, because this is just a random, you know, topic about Diablo things. And then we'll talk about what it could actually entail in the future, by the way. But for right now, let's theory craft some good set items. So, I'm going to start with Bob, because Bob had an amazing set idea, and it could be anything. So the rules are, you have to be able to craft a set. You have to come up with an idea for a set item for any class that you enjoy. You can give it a name, you can give it a 2-set bonus, 3-set bonus, whatever. It all depends on you. You are the Diablo god for now. Craft us a good set. So Bob, what are your ideas, man? First of all, what class would it be? I can already guess it, but let's hear it.
Yeah, it would be monks, and the name would be Hermit set. Not just because your name is Hermit, but I think Hermit suits to a monk class.
Well, Hermit means kind of a monk, but I'm just okay. I'm honored, but let's hope it's not me. It's whatever, random guy. Okay, random Hermit number 23. That's what the set goes for. What would you add in it, Bob?
Yeah,
what
I
are
think
the affixes?
I would add small things that seem simple, but in the end it would make a very big difference in the gameplay. So, for example, I haven't much thought to this, but very simply I say, as a first bonus, I would say something like 6 to movement speed and 6 to attack speed. And as a second, so it's 2 bonuses, 2 smaller bonuses
Okay.
instead
So first of all, yeah, it's how many bonuses will it? How many set pieces will it have in total? Let's go this way.
4, like most of them.
4 set bonus. So like
most of the sets, yeah.
Okay, so 2 set bonus would be 6 movement speed and 6 attack speed.
So
great. So what's the next one?
The next one would be something like I guess Dex and White, like most of the sets have.
Okay, yeah, why
Again.
not? And now the biggie, the final one, the 4 set bonus.
The big one, I think the one that I would like the most would be +1 to exploding radius of exploding palm.
Ooh, so I see where this is going, huh? So guys, the results of this are pretty substantial to say the least, right?
So simple, but I think it would make tremendous difference.
Yeah, see, again, this is coming from a pro player, guys. You see, there is no damage buff. In his sets, there is clearly nothing OP. The only thing he's giving to the set is a 6% attack speed at 2. People would say the set is bad, but let me explain it, and I'll let Bob add in this, because it's his set, by the way. The 6% movement speed, do you think, Bob, it's going to be to the max movement speed, or can you go over the limit?
Over the limit, yeah. It's, if there's a hard cap, I think there's the hard cap now, 25, right? Yeah. You should be able to exceed the limit with that 6, yeah.
Okay, fair enough. So that's that. And why exploding palm thing? What do you think? So what kind of runes are you thinking about it? Because I see this is going to be pretty awesome. So the final bonus is exploding palm, guys. When the exploding palm goes off, it has a certain AoE in which the explosion occurs. And as you all know, and as I show in my videos, that the exploding palm is not about the damage. If I were there, I would not even care. If the bleed damage goes to even 1%, I have no problems with it. I use Exploding Palm not for the bleed, but for the 50% of enemies' maximum life exploding as damage. That's the real secret of Exploding Palm, and that's why this skill is the 2 ghost skills for monks doing Torment 6, unless you're running our version of the build, which is completely different. But Exploding Palm is a great essence, is a great skill for high-end players. The higher the monster's HP, the tougher the monsters get, the more the Exploding Palm is useful. So Bob's set, the final set bonus, where Exploding Palm gets a slightly larger radius explosion, is pretty good. Now we don't know what the exact radius is, but I think it's something like 7 or 12 yards. I'm not sure. So if you increase the radius of that,
I think it's pretty smaller. I think it's like 1 or 2 yards. Yeah.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very small.
It's very small. That's why 1 or.
So you want to increase that? So why? Okay. Why not a percentage-based increase? If I'm
maybe. As I said, I haven't given a lot of thought to it. I could, find something different, like a percentage to something, maybe pickup radius, no pickup radius, something else. Maybe something that is hard to find, but once you find it,
definitely. So I'm with you. That's a pretty good set. I would love to use that. And in all fairness, I would use your set over Raymond to the Thousand Storms any day, because Hermit does not like that set. I'm sorry, guys, if you love it. It's a good set, but for a 6 set bonus.
The point is, it would be around the Exploding Palm, because that's the skill I believe it's the best to progress on high difficulties in general.
So Mr. Demon Slayer is giving a good output. That's a good idea, he says. And again, we can go pretty crazy. That's actually fine. We can come up with silly ideas as well, because hey, why not? Whether they're gonna do it, they're not gonna do it. I mean, they're not gonna do it, but we're coming up with our ideas. So Bob's set is very in the believable limits. It's something that you can see useful. But Mr. Demon Slayer has an awesome idea, and that is the AoE radius of Exploding Palm is increased by your health and glow pickup radius. That means if you have something like 7, 8, 10 pickup radius, you basically palm a guy and you pretty much kill the entire screen. That would be beautiful to watch, and I would vote for it, man. I'm with you. I would vote for that.
That sounds.
If it's OP,
sorry, that sounds like fatality to me.
That sounds like fatality. Mortal Kombat, huh?
Yeah.
Good times, guys. Good times. One more place left. I'm going to TP to you guys. So, Mr. Ben, you've been quiet there for a while. What do you think, sir? What have you got in mind? For what class would you pick? Again, I can guess it's probably going to be Demon Hunter. So, what would you add in your set? Roughly, it could be anything. It could be something obscenely powerful. Does not matter. We are gods for one day. Let's come up with some OP ideas.
I kind of miss Sticky Bomb and how good that was. So I would probably and you know, I'd add a set bonus for that, maybe like final set bonus.
Okay, so a 4 set bonus basically. Is that what you're going for?
And I'd like
and the final one
you know, just more radius again on the actual sticky bomb. If I don't have a monk, I struggle to get that burst when they die.
Fair enough. Okay. Pretty intriguing idea. What about something with skills? Let me just do some random food for thought. We talked about this earlier. Mr. Lore, help me out on this one, and Mr. I was thinking about this as well, Mr. Benedict. Is we were discussing it actually about cluster arrow, right?
You could split.
We have a skill.
Yeah.
Exactly right. What about this? Would that be too powerful? But hey, let it be
could
too
be
powerful.
a
So same thing
chance
goes
to split rather than, you know, it always split into 3. So, you know, and then you could have a chance to get a higher roll on that chance. So max could be 50% chance, and lowest could be what, 25.
25. Okay, that's a pretty good idea. So like the 4 set bonus, for example, guys, if you get this Benedict's set of vengeance, let's call it that, I don't know.
Sure.
Or you know, the final set bonus, you know, every now and then when you're using your cluster arrow has a chance to split the cluster arrow into 3 missiles. That would be amazing, man. That I would play with
because
that.
you already get a lot of synergy with fire damage using loaded for bear. So then if you got 3 times that damage, you know, it'd be a very nice bonus occasionally.
All right, okay, I'm with you on that one. That's awesome. Let's go to a barbarian now. Raze, come on, man, give us some cool ideas about a barbarian set.
I've been thinking about it.
Because barbs are pretty good, and you like the physicality of a barbarian. Anything else you can do with a barbarian?
I was thinking about one thing, and it's sort of, I don't know, it's maybe fan fiction, but I think that's what we're talking about, you know. I was thinking about a set centered around, you know, the old barb. When Diablo 3 came out, they were saying that they were thinking about making the barbarian the same guy that was in Diablo 2.
Oh yeah, the bald gentleman.
So I was thinking, that if we could go back to that for a second, and I thought maybe the 2 set bonus for this piece should be you getting 10% more experience. You know, just because like Kane, he's an old school guy. You know, he's been around. And then I thought 3-piece bonus would be 500 strength and 100 all resist. And I thought the 4-piece bonus for me, this was ignore pain now enables all runes. Right. The reason why I chose that is because, like, playing with you guys especially, you know, which is Cyclone monks. You guys get Cyclone strike. You pull everyone in, and you just mess around until they die. So I was thinking, what I was thinking was that quite often as well in these rifts we have like 4 or 5 elite mobs at the same time, which, by the way, Blizzard, awesome job. Yeah, good job. So I was thinking, what I would like to see is a barb in the middle with the monk. Now the monk cyclones everyone in, palms them, and I can see the barb dropping an avalanche, an earthquake, and then dropping a rend, and then ignore pain until they die.
Just not caring.
Yeah,
not caring the world,
which is
right
like the physicality, the characteristics of a barb. And I thought the ignore pain has runes which enable the protection to all party members, and it has runes which obviously give you life.
So that's a party set as well, Raze. That's an awesome idea.
And again, you know, because Barb's been a beneficiary of many a party game from monks and CM wizards. So I think, you know, Barb's not really have a party skill except for maybe your war cry. So I think it would be nice to have a party centric Barb without having to create a specific whole build for it, you know.
Okay. So I know that you're the kind of guy who's got awesome ideas always. So what would you name the set? Because I know I'm sure you've got an awesome name for the set.
I would name it Pay Me Blizzard. I think that's a good idea, and I think if they use it, they should pay me.
Yeah, they should pay. You know, they'll be like, insert cash here. That's gonna be.
Yeah, no, I mean, I've got no idea, but obviously, if you go back to the barbarian roots, then it's got to be something Germanic, you know. So something along the lines of a Great German.
Or Gaelic.
Yeah, and anything really.
Or a single syllable word.
Good.
Yeah, it has to sound. Ideally, the name has to sound like a grunt, like a troll would say it. But that's just me.
Great. No, definitely a great idea. So guys, I hope you're ready for mine. Mine's not that fancy because these guys have done a splendid job, and mine's just going to be not so good. We don't have a lot of wizard talk here today, but in the next podcast, definitely, you know, we're going to cover the other classes. But right now, since, you know, I mainly play monk, I too have an idea for a monk set, and it's kind of similar to Bob's set, but bear in mind, I'm going to open the page. I have written it down. I actually gave it a good thought, and I've actually got like even the text ready for it. You know, that's like for later on. But anyways, the set will be called Wrath of Persuram. Persuram was one of the very first monks to ever live on the world. Every monk descends from this guy because he, back in the days, and I'm talking something like 5,500, 6,000 years ago, back in southern India, he was the very first and the only monk to live. So going back to the true roots of monk, this will be a monk set. So it's called Wrath of Persuram. And this man was known to be a monk who was very angry, believe it or not, right? He was a hermit. He used to walk all the time, but he was not like, hey, I'm going to pray to this and that god. He was like a man of action. So Wrath of Persuram. And it's going to be a 4-set bonus. And bear with me, guys. The first set bonus will be the 2-set bonus, obviously. And that bonus would be using different spirit generator increases your spirit regen by 2. So again, there's nothing too fancy with it, but something like combination strike. The combination strike gives you DPS buff right now, but if you use 2 or 3 different spirit generators, you increase your spirit generation by 2. This can stack up to 3 times for about 2 seconds. So it's not going to be too long of a thing, but if you're running 2 spirit generators, for example, it's going to give you 4 spirit regen for a very short amount of time. If you're using 3 spirit regenerators, that would be your Thunderclap, Deadly Reach, Crippling Wave, and Wave of 100 Fist. You know, you can generate 6 and so on and so forth. And the second bonus for the 2-set bonus would be 500 Dexterity. So the 2-set bonus is plus 500 Dex, and using different spirit generators, increase your spirit regen by 2, stacking up to 3 times. So 6 would be the max for it. The 4-set bonus would be dual wielding fist weapons reduces the cost of all skills by 20 to 30%, this being a random number thing. And also it gives you 5 to 7% attack speed. So you can see the reason why I'm making this is going to be a fist-based monk set. Now, it does not necessarily have to have weapons on it, but basically we've had a set that increases monk's output when he's using a Diablo. Nothing for fist weapons. I mean, he can dual wield, but what's monk known for is fist weapons. They're called surveyors, that's the name for them. And maybe the 4-set bonus, I think, would be dual wielding fist weapon reduces the cost of all skills by 20 to 30%, and it gives you 5 to 7% attack speed. Now, the 6-set bonuses, this is pretty much similar to Bob's, but I think I have a slightly OP-ish idea. And again, this is not going to happen, but hey, a man can dream, right? So the 6-set bonus would be, and this is a pretty big set, right? So it's not going to be a 4-set. No, it should be a 6-set. I said 4 sets earlier. It's a 6-set bonus, guys. The final set bonus is Exploding Palm spreads to nearby enemies after death. Something like your essence burn, but basically the effect of explosions. So you don't get the increased radius to explosion, but if a guy dies with exploding palm on him, this effect can spread up to the next guy for up to 3 seconds, and you have to kill the guy in 3 seconds. So something like your rune called essence burn, but where essence burn burns you, basically this set bonus is gonna do the explosion thing. So I think that's my set, guys. The 2-set bonus gives you spirit regen increased by 2 if you're using 2 different spirit generators, stacking up to 3 times, 500 dex. The 4-set one would be reduces the skill resource cost of all skills by 20 to 30%, and also gives you 5 to 7% attack speed. And the final 6-set bonus is Exploding Palm spreads to nearby enemies on an enemy's death. Up to 3 seconds, and then the effect wears off. So one guy dies from a palm, the other guy next to him starts bleeding, and if he explodes, then if the guy does not die, he's still marked with the palm, and this basically can cause chain kills. Pretty OP. I don't know if it's even viable, but what do you think, guys? Any good? Raise? Or is it too OP?
It's too OP, man. Monk should be nerfed.
No, please, no, do not nerf monks.
I don't like the looks of these wizards. They should definitely be nerfed. And while we're at it, we've just nerfed Crusader and Witch Doctors too.
Just barb only gameplay.
Basically, all other classes should only be allowed primary skills. I think that's the way to move this game forwards.
Okay, there we go.
Actually,
please do not listen to the...
there is actually a true issue though for monks and barbarians in that our spirit generators don't generate enough spirit.
Yeah, our resource generators.
Oh yeah, sorry, resource generators, because monks have like 12 included for Fist of Thunder, and barbs have 4 for Frenzy. 4. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, but you can attack a
I
lot
know,
of times
but
if
the
you keep
attack
attacking the
speed's a
same
bit
target.
nerfed now, so it's not even on the same level. So like I've got 1.7
Ah, okay.
attacks per second. It's crazy. So you know,
No, I'm
there should
definitely
be
with
like
you,
an
right?
attack
If we really
speed
want to...
set or a primary stat set. You know, like the pride of the invoker set is just useless. Everyone can have the opportunity to get it. So we should have like one that says all your primary spirit generators or whatever your resource generators are now doubled. That would be pretty sweet.
Yeah, I would use that.
Because it would apply for everyone.
Definitely. Yeah, good point, man. Good point. So that's definitely a true case. If we want to talk, cover the final topic in the end, guys. It's kind of, I'm very clear. I understand Rays a lot. Barbs, I've tried Barbs as well. Not that much as monks, but the problem with these characters right now, a slight problem is, because the attack speed has been nerfed and also the spirit generation is kind of nerfed because the internal attack speed modifiers on these characters are low as well. That means you're not generating enough spirit anymore. And if a monk cannot generate spirit, he cannot expend spirit. And when he's not expending spirit, he's basically a turkey shoot. Same thing goes for Barbarian. If he's not attacking with his attacks, then there is a problem there. So I think with that regard, I don't know, if you don't want to increase the attack speed, which I completely understand because the attack speed game was kind of boring. I'm definitely with Blizzard on that one, that the whole riding the attack speed train and the crit chance train was pretty boring. So rather than doing the same thing back again, I think a set change would be a great idea. Pride of Invoker is a good set, but I think call it the Pride of the Spirit Generator or a Resource Generator, I don't mind, but it's a very good idea. I think if it increases your spirit, resource generation by 2 or something, or 30% or 40%, it would be a good set to have, I think. And that's a great suggestion, by the way. Another thing, guys, it's just a final topic to cover, and I've been playing another game called Dota, which I'm sure most of you guys know, and we were talking about this the other day, and this is kind of a side topic and more of like a fanboy thing, if you will. Now, monks only look like monks. We can transmogrify our gear, we can make them look pretty, all that good stuff. But at the end of it, monk looks like monk. He's got the same beard, he's got the bald head, he's got the same kind of body tattoo, everything same. What if we were able to actually purchase character skins? So what I'm going with this one is about micromanagement, about microtransactions in game. What do you think? Would that be a good idea, guys? Is this something Blizzard needs really, or Diablo needs in general in this game? That maybe for like $1 or $2 or $3, $5, whatever, if we were to be able to purchase character skins for our characters, a Barbarian could look, as Ray said earlier, rather than getting a set item, what if he looks like the Diablo 2 Barbarian? Your monks could look like, I don't know, guy with a big ponytail, or like a guy without a beard. It could be different skins, basically. Do you think that's a good idea, Bob? As a player, as a guy who's been playing the game for a while, do you think it's something appealing, especially if the money that they make from it could be probably spent into making the next expansion? I'm not saying Blizzard needs money; they're a very good company. They deserve all of that. But do you think microtransactions, buying skins, buying certain looks for your character, is that somewhat of a future? Is the future kind of bright for Diablo? Do you think it's something you'll purchase?
Yes, of course. If they would introduce such a system with different looks, I guess animations, more of animations, magic new animations now in your monk or other characters would be great. For someone who plays the game a lot, I would definitely get them.
Purchase it. So you're taking it one step further, aren't you? So I just said maybe my monk looks different. Maybe the beard goes away, or you have like a smaller beard and like hair. You're talking about Sweeping Wind Cyclone looks like in a different way.
Yeah, to unlock with a different animations. About the looks now, not so much about the appearance of a character, but in terms of items, maybe a bigger color palette, more dyes, or even more cosmetics, even more different looks on boots and all the armor sets and their weapons.
Okay.
Everything that has to do with the looks of the player, I think it would be good, because everyone would make his character individual, and everyone who plays the game a lot, he would like to do that.
Okay, so everyone in the chat is saying no, we don't like microtransaction. I can understand that, right? People, it's something not everyone wants to pay for. But the thing is, a good microtransaction, in my opinion, is one that does not affect the gameplay at all. I'm not talking bringing back auction house and you being able to buy items and doing whatever and whatever. I'm talking about Just character looks, nothing
Skins.
in terms of gameplay.
You're talking about
effects, but
skins.
something, yeah, skins basically that you can buy. Different skins on your character that makes you look good and makes you do cool things.
If you could play as the Witch Doctor and make it look like the Necromancer for £5, I think people would, you know, potentially be
yeah,
incited.
not everyone would. So Ben, how much would you pay? I guess let's take the question to you now. If you were to get a different skin for a Demon Hunter, or as you said, if you were to be able to play as a Necromancer, if Blizzard would introduce a service, would you use it? And if you would, how much would you pay for it?
I think that they would structure it like Hearthstone, where it'd be like $1.99, $3.99, and then $12.99, and they would,
Ooh, okay.
you know, they would have very nice looking stuff, because there would be no point in them putting a system in like that if they didn't have, you know, something that made them real good money.
Alright, okay. And I think Raze is very quiet on this one, so we're going to hear his wrath in a minute. So Raze, sir, what do you think?
No, I agree with the chat. I don't like the idea of it. But having said that, I think it will be a good thing for the game, because the people that don't want to won't, right? But
Definitely, right? It's not affecting the gameplay. That's like the biggest stipulation on it. You are not buying damage bonus. You're not buying items. You're just buying cosmetic stuff. Something like your angelic wings, you know. Just that's why I'm saying this, right? Think about it, guys. How many people went crazy before the game came out when they saw the Wings of Valor in data mine info, to a point where Blizzard had to give them. I'm not even sure that this was intended at all, guys. But apparently, the whole uproar from the community, Blizzard being nice, they actually gave you these Wings of Valor, and everyone loves them, right? Would you buy something like that, Raze? What would you pay for it, man? Because you play the game a lot, and I know eventually the character, maybe, you know, because you love the game, because you want your character to look different, it could be n number of different. And the question again, I don't want to start any flame thing. I'm not saying Blizzard needs money or anything. I'm just saying, as a player who plays the game for a long time and you enjoying the game, do you think it's a service that you would use? And if you would use it, how much would you be paying for it, Raze? For a complete skin for a Barbarian, how much would you pay for it, Raze?
To be honest, I would probably be part of the people that don't get involved in that situation, just because of the fact that I'm not essentially bothered about the aesthetics of my character. But if I were so inclined, I'd probably go up to a $5 and then I would lose interest, just because it's a nice price point psychologically. You know, a $5 is sort of disposable. It's less than half a takeaway, so you know it's no problem. You wouldn't shirk at that sort of money. That's what I would say.
And it all depends on how long the game lasts. Yeah, guys, we are actually talking about microtransactions in the game for the guys in the chat just joining us. And it's just a little idea. Again, no one's introducing it. We're just randomly, you know, talking about it. Since we did talk about you being able to create your own sets, how about if you were given an option to buy certain cosmetic looks? I mean, the reason why I say is because I would like Diablo 3 to continue forever and ever, right? Again, nothing lasts forever, but I would like the game to come up with 3, 4, 5 more expansions. And the reason, the way they can do it is obviously when people show interest in the whole game. And two ways to do it. One, if you keep playing, obviously that's the easier way. The other thing is, if they say people are buying microtransactions, help them to support the next expansion pack, then it's something good. You don't have to buy it because it's an optional thing and all it gives you is cosmetic looks, then I think it's a pretty good idea. For a guy like me, and I'm a student by the way, so I'm going to give you a student-like answer, which you guys are like, is that it? But yeah, for a guy like me, I'll probably pay something like a euro or €2 for a look like that. A max, you know, for a max really. Like if I can get a new look for Monk, maybe I get the Monkey King look, you know, I don't know, something cool like that for a Monk. I would pay a dollar or a quid for it. It's not a lot of money, and if you look at it in the long term, people who like it can buy it. It's not ruining the game at all. It's basically giving Blizzard a little bit, you know, more incentive to, hey, you know, the people still love your game, how about you do something more? And the reason why I say that is because, as I said earlier, I was playing League of Legends a little bit, and then I played Dota, the game I really enjoy much more than that. No hate intended, guys, it's just the one I prefer. But League of Legends, Dota has this thing where you can buy certain, you know, looks on the items, and I was just wondering, so I thought it would be a good topic for our podcast. But anyways, I would support it, Bob would buy it, Ben would
I would buy it,
I
man.
think.
I'm just saying, like,
Ben
it'd be nice
well.
if they could put it into the excuse me, into the game and like a TF2 Dota system where you buy a key and you could potentially get something really good. So it's cosmetic, it's still, you know, potentially.
So you're speaking about a sort of a gambling system similar.
Yeah. I don't know. I think they always want to tie it back to what we're doing. If it just becomes this like shopping program that's attached to Diablo, I think it could be bad. But if they make a system within the game where you like, oh, where the fuck did you get that hat from? Excuse my French. You know, oh, it came from a chest that I got a key from. I paid $1.99 for it. You know.
So you would like the RNG to
maybe that would be cool.
As well.
Another idea about this is
Greg.
if you would get progressively new upgrades, like for example, when you apply Exploded Palm, you can buy this, but in order to you can also change the effect that produces later, but you have to buy the first one. Do you know what I mean?
Okay, so like a progressive like look system
Exactly, on every skill.
Cool.
Because they had banners, right, and we were going to put ears on them, and we were going to make our banners look all fancy. And now what we've got 4 elements that we can customize.
Yeah.
So it would be nice maybe to have a cosmetic system that we could give them some money, and it would convince shareholders.
Exactly, that's where I'm going with that, guys. You know, that's exactly because, you know, these things that are not really affecting the game. And if I'm a game developer, I'm like, you know, I don't really want to spend my time making new skins.
That's too much cost for them.
No, but you know what? I just had Bob just said something that's told me, got me interested, caught my ear. He said that he was talking about change the appearance of a skill. I was thinking if you could drop an earthquake and make it look like you dropped an atom bomb, I would pay to have the animation.
Yeah, but they're just never gonna, you know.
But that would be.
Then
epic.
you would have to
That
pay
would
like
be
£12.99, 20 quid because
you do
like, animations
Raze
cost
would
them
pay it, man.
a lot of money.
do what we must.
From paying no
Yeah,
money.
man, or
Someone that didn't want to pay.
there are some skills if you enjoy your character. Imagine now you're a barbarian. Imagine if you could change this hammer offensive to something huge.
Like a lollipop or a candy or something, or when you're running a marathon, you have basically rainbows coming behind you. I would get that.
Of course
I would get definitely. It's when I'm tempest rushing, I see, I don't know, like 9 cats behind me. Come on, who doesn't want a 9 cat? So, but anyways, guys, that's
Tempest
our
rushing
topic
and there's
for
a
the
crackhead
evening.
running behind you.
Do you realize, guys, this is it's about time, guys. That would be the end of our podcast. I would like to thank my friend Mr. Benedict, Mr. Zariscop, Mr. Raze here, and Mr. Samoy for helping us out in the game. All of you guys in the chat, thank you so very much for stopping by. This was episode 3 of our podcast, a podcast that still does not have a name. Help me come up with a name, guys. Give me something interesting to go for. But nonetheless, I thank you all very much for stopping by. For those of you listening on YouTube, I hope you enjoyed the podcast. Same thing goes for you guys on Twitch. Thank you for stopping by. This has been the Holy Hermit for you. Take care of yourself, and I will see you in the next podcast. Good night. Bye-bye. Ta-ta. It's not good night. It is kind of where I am. But see you later, guys. Bye.